Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you're driving a leased vehicle right now, you already know there's a definite expiration date attached to those keys. So today, we're going to build a really clear step-by-step roadmap for anyone approaching the end of their car lease. And we've tailored this specifically for drivers in the Feasterville, Trevose area. We're going to decode the jargon, crunch the numbers, and help you figure out your absolute best next move.
Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when the clock runs out on your lease? It sounds like a simple question, but honestly, it carries a ton of weight. As the months turn into weeks, the pressure of that impending lease end can feel pretty heavy, right? You might be getting letters in the mail or phone calls from the dealership, but don't worry. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have a completely stress-free framework to evaluate your options and make the absolute right financial choice for your lifestyle.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover the lease end dilemma, decode your residual value, figure out when buying makes sense, when to walk away, transitioning to a new lease, and finally, your next steps with VIP Auto.
All right, part 1. The lease end dilemma. The ticking clock on your driveway.
Look, the reality of a closed-end lease is that doing absolutely nothing just isn't an option. Eventually, the leasing company is going to want their car back or they're going to want you to buy it. So a lease buyout is literally just the process of purchasing the very vehicle you've been driving. And the cool part? You get to buy it at a highly specific price, called the residual value, which was stated right there in your original contract years ago. The beauty of this whole setup is that the leasing company is legally obligated to sell you the car at that specific price, completely regardless of what wild fluctuations might have happened in the used car market since you first signed the paperwork.
Moving right along to Section 2, decoding the residual value, the magic number.
By definition, the residual value is the fixed price set on the exact day you originally signed your lease. The leasing company calculated this based on their projection of how much the vehicle was going to depreciate over your term. So the crucial point is, this number is basically a financial time capsule. It was frozen in time the moment they handed you the keys. It doesn't change one bit based on what the vehicle is actually trading for today.
Now, if you do decide to buy the car, you've got two timing options. An end-of-term buyout happens exactly when the lease concludes normally, but an early buyout is when you try to purchase it before the lease is actually up. Early buyouts usually involve extra fees, and honestly, they're rarely the most cost-effective path. Just waiting for the normal conclusion of your term is generally the much smarter, much cleaner financial move.
Okay, we really have to debunk a massive myth right here. The buyout price, it is not negotiable. Because that residual value is locked into your contract, the leasing company is just not obligated to lower it, and let's be real, they almost never will. But there is a silver lining here. While the price of the car itself is set in stone, the financing terms to actually buy it are entirely up for grabs. A reputable broker like VIP Auto PA can absolutely help you negotiate a fantastic auto loan to fund that buyout.
Which brings us to part 3, when buying makes sense, winning the depreciation game. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly when you should buy. If the current market value of your vehicle, like what it would cost to go buy it on a used car lot today, is higher than the contract residual value you're guaranteed, buying it is an absolute steal. You are essentially buying the car for less than it's actually worth. We see this happen a lot when vehicles depreciate way less than the leasing company predicted, which is super common with popular SUV and truck models right now.
But you know, it's not always just about the raw math, is it? There are some really powerful non-financial reasons to buy. If you know for a fact you've maintained the car perfectly, it still totally suits your driving needs, and you just don't want the headache of shopping again, a buyout makes perfect sense. Plus, by keeping the car, you completely sidestep any of those painful mileage overage fees or excess wear and tear charges that would suddenly trigger if you tried to return it.
All right, part 4. When to walk away, returning the vehicle.
Conversely, what if the math is completely upside down? If you find yourself in a situation where the contract residual value, the amount you'd have to pay to keep it, is higher than the actual current market value of the car, do not buy it. In this scenario, purchasing the vehicle literally means you're paying more than it's worth on the open market. Remember, you have zero obligation to buy at the end of a lease. Walking away is 100% the only rational financial move here.
Returning the vehicle is also the cleanest option if your life has simply changed. Maybe you need a bigger SUV for a growing family. Your daily commute mileage is drastically shifted, or your budget just looks totally different than it did 3 years ago. There's just no sense in buying a car that you've outgrown.
Part 5. Transitioning to a new lease. The seamless switch.
Real quick, I want to clarify a super frequent question that comes up when people just want out of their current lease early to get a new one. It's crucial to understand the difference between a lease buyout and a lease transfer. While a buyout means you purchase the vehicle outright, a lease transfer means you actually find someone else to take over your remaining payments for the rest of the term. Both are totally valid options, but just be aware that lease transfers require formal approval from the leasing company, which definitely adds a layer of complexity.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a totally frictionless experience. If you decide to roll into a brand new lease, this is the exact three-step process used by experts like VIP Auto PA. Step 1, they review your outgoing lease to catch any hidden pitfalls. Step 2, they handle the actual return logistics for you. And Step 3, they source your next vehicle and time the delivery perfectly. This ensures you have absolutely no gap in coverage and zero overlap in your car payments.
And honestly, one of the best parts about working with a broker during this transition is the brand flexibility. Because a broker has access to literally hundreds of dealers, you aren't locked into staying with your current make or model. If you're returning a Honda and you want to slide right into a Jeep, they can make that happen without you having to run around town between different branded dealerships.
Finally, Part 6, Next Steps with VIP Auto, Navigating the Finish Line in Feasterville, Trevose. Okay, burn this number into your brain, 60 to 90 days. This is the crucial, ideal time frame before your lease ends to actually take action. If you contact VIP Auto PA within this window, it gives them the padding they need to find the right vehicle, work through the credit process properly, and time the delivery so the transition is perfectly clean. Please don't wait until the last week. If you don't contact anyone, the leasing company will just demand the car back, and you're going to be starting your new car search totally from scratch.
Think of VIP Auto PA as your ultimate safety net. Whether you buy, return, or renew, they really do handle the heavy lifting. They'll review your current mileage position and potential wear charges to prevent any nasty surprises. If you buy, they assist with the financing. If you lease new, they source the deals. And hey, if you just want to return it and walk away entirely, they point you in the exact right direction.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this rating right here, 4.6 out of 5 across 128 Google reviews. And what's totally fascinating when you dig into the data is that a highly meaningful share of those reviews are from repeat clients. These are people who have trusted them to handle their lease end transitions multiple times. When the clock is ticking down on a massive financial contract, that kind of proven track record is exactly what you want in your corner.
So, I'll leave you with this provocative question to ask yourself right now. Are you driving a vehicle that's worth more than your contract says it is? Seriously, go dig up your original paperwork, find that residual value, and compare it to the current market today. The answer might literally save you thousands of dollars. Whether you're sitting on a gold mine or it's just time to smoothly transition to something completely new, reach out to VIP Auto PA to explore your options. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy driving.